See, she takes care of me. So, I wanted to talk to you guys really fast about something that I'm doing with inviting. It's a little bit different because sometimes I think you have to change things up so you get excited again, because sometimes doing the same thing every day gets tiring. The other morning, I just started sending out voice messages like crazy, like 20 of them, like within the hour. And it was very simple. I wasn't inviting them to an opportunity yet. All I did was, I said, hey, like I found something on their page that was interesting. So I'm going to, an example, maybe their kids are in the same, I'm going to mute everybody really fast too. Okay. Maybe their kids are in the same school that my kids are in, and I see their pictures on Facebook, and I might say something like, hey girl, and this is all in a voice message, like, hey girl, how have you been? Your daughter is getting so big. Oh my gosh, I can't believe she's going to be in the 6th grade. That's just an example. I just wanted to let you know that I enjoy all of your posts on Facebook. I think you're awesome. And if there's anything that I can ever do for you, oh my gosh, just let me know. And that was it. And I found out that by sending that message out, I got so many people just messaging me back. And I actually got three opportunity calls out of that by just sending out a message, a voice message. And what I love about the voice message, and if you don't like to do voice messages, this is just me. Drink a glass of wine and get over it and just do it. I don't care if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, drink a glass of wine if it helps, and send out 20 voice messages. Because I'm telling you what, people love to hear your excitement. They love, they feel your excitement. They feel that they are not being scripted because you're sending a voice message. And they, in that 20-second voice message, they really learn a lot about you. And I'm telling you what, you're going to get so many people responding back to you if you just chit-chat a little bit at first. How are you doing? Is there anything that I can do for you? So make sure that you're adding value to people that way. Make sure you're like, is there anything that I can do for you? And I promise you, and I think Jennifer O'Keefe will agree with me on this, like I just promise you people will get back with you. Like and that is when you start to build that relationship within just a few messages. And then you can ask them, what are you doing? Like, what do you do? Or I see that you're doing It Works. This was my conversation this week. I see you're doing It Works. That's awesome. Like, how long have you been doing that? I'm showing interest in what they're doing. And she'll say, oh, I've been in It Works for 2 months. What do you do? And that is when I go into, I am in a wine business, and I can start, and I will just act silly. I'll be like, crazy out there question for you. I just thought of this, but are you ever open to different streams of income if it did not interfere with what you're doing? And just by building that relationship really fast first and adding value to them, letting them know that you have interest in what they are doing, I promise you people they're going to get back with you. Like they just are. So that's been my experience this week. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to send me a message, or after this Zoom, I'll be happy to help you. But I really want to take it over. I really want Jacqueline to take over tonight. And I have to tell you a little bit about Jacqueline. I love this girl so much. We were actually on the same team, not under the same coach, but we were on the same team in a previous business, Beachbody. And me and her became really close friends in Beachbody, to be honest. Jacqueline I don't know, she's my yin to my yang, whatever you would call it. She's amazing. She actually is an engineer. Her husband is an engineer. She also teaches at IU College. She's a college professor. And they both work full-time like that. And what I find so awesome about Jacqueline is they have 4 small kids. Like, I have 3, and I go crazy every day. And I don't know how she does it, but Jacqueline what they did is they focused on her husband first. Lucas signed up under me, and they got Lucas to master seller like ASAP. But as soon as they got Lucas to master seller, Jacqueline is all focused, and she's almost got herself to master seller. And mind you, they're both engineers. She teaches at IU College, 4 small kids. So I really think that time management is something that all of us struggle with at times. And so Jacqueline, I'm going to let you take this over because I want to learn from you. And I know everybody else does too.
Great. I'll give a little bit of background real quick because a lot of what I go into ties heavily into how I got started in this business and in network marketing in general. So my mantra in life is sort of, I believe nothing worth having comes easy. Okay. I believe in a hard work ethic first and foremost. Whether, anything you do in life, whether it's a marriage, friendship, a business, your job, just any goal you have, any relationship you have, that's my mantra. So I do believe nothing comes easy and everything takes work. Okay. But you have to pick what you want to work at in life and what goals you want in life. So a little background, we have 4 kids. Our oldest is 8 and our youngest is not even a year and a half. Okay, so we have 4 really young kids. They're not, old and doing their own thing or out of the house or anything. They're very young, so we have to do everything for them still. My husband works full-time as an engineer, and I got into network marketing about 2.5 years ago with my previous company. I wasn't going to talk too much about it, but Brandy had announced it was Beachbody, and that's fine. But when I joined about 2.5 years ago, there were over 500,000 reps. So this was a very, very established company. The products were fantastic. I was in love with the products, and I led my business very heavily with the products, okay, versus our current business, which I lead with the business opportunity, but I'll get more into that later. So I really loved the products. I saw the big picture in network marketing immediately. I was like, this is genius. This is the most genius business platform I've ever seen in my life. So I did okay in my last business. I think I did as well as I could have, considering the timing, when I joined. Because, everyone I had talked to was already affiliated with the company in some way, shape, or form. They were already a customer or a coach, or they tried the product years ago and they've moved on to something else. So I really struggled, but I did okay. I definitely did okay because I worked very hard at it, and I try to be as real as possible and connect with people on a personal level. And I really led that business with helping people because my heart was genuinely in that business. But it just wasn't doing anything for us as far as monetarily. It was sucking the life out of me. And it was also a very emotional business. For me personally, I'm not saying anything bad about Beachbody because I still use some of the products, but for me, it was just extremely emotional. It was an emotional drain. So I was getting really burnt out. So I joined, and we had about 3 kids at the time. I think we had 3, right? I just had Alina. So we had 3 young kids, and I was still working as an engineer at the time, but I was extremely unhappy because my husband and I were both trying to be corporate rock stars and work these big fancy career jobs and raise these young kids. And we thought we were done with 3 kids. Well, lo and behold, I find out I'm pregnant with my 4th. So I was like, crap, I can't work because, I have between daycare and aftercare and summer camps, it's going to cost, we did the math. I literally, because I'm such a nerd, I have like an Excel spreadsheet. I remember figuring it all out. It was like $40,000 a year. And yes, I made very good money as an engineer, but between, among daycare costs, gas, investing money in a wardrobe, all my time away from my kids, I was like, this is just not worth it at all. This is not the kind of life I want. So I quit, and that's when our financial troubles really began. Okay. So that became a strong why for me with my Beachbody business. I was in it, I need to give this business a year, see where I'm at, and have this baby. But the reality is I'm going to have to try to figure out a way to go back to engineering, find cheaper daycare, something, because we couldn't survive just off Lucas's income. And he does very well, but we live in a very, high cost of living area, etc. So I gave it 1 year. Okay. I said, if I'm not making X amount I'm going to go back to engineering at some point, but it was a real big struggle. We went through things. I'm not ready to open up about some of the financial struggles we had right now, but I'm sure I will one day. But basically, we went through some of the worst financial struggles that any family can go through. And it was hell, especially pregnant with a fourth baby. So fast forward, last August of 2016, I was offered a job at Indiana University as an adjunct professor. And I teach physics and I love it. And if I make 7 figures in direct sellers, I will still teach a class or two because it's just something I absolutely love. So I got this job in August. And I remember it was on my birthday, August 17th. And it was a big help to our finances, but did not solve the problem because let's face it, educators do not make a lot of money, okay? So I was like, okay, this is good. This is going to help, but it definitely doesn't solve the problem. So that was August. About 3 or 4 weeks later, here comes Brandy. And she was like all excited. I saw a big change in her because we were both coaches at the same time. I noticed she was very happy all of a sudden. She's really excited about something and something new going on in her life. And I picked up on it right away. So I was like, Brandy, what are you up to? And I actually went to her and then she opened up to me about direct sellers. And I was like, wine? Like the same way Beachbody is structured, network marketing? I'm like, really? Like I'd never heard of that before. And I find it really intriguing. So I told my husband about it. And I think because I had just started a new job at the time, I was like, I cannot get into anything new. But we got on a 3-way call with Derek, and my husband was immediately like, Jackie, we're signing up like tonight, and you're signing up under me tomorrow. Because he's like, this is wine. And and he knew I was postpartum. I was very stressed out with starting a new career. But he's like, this is genius. This is the most genius combination. And we knew that we were so early in the company because I used to watch these Beachbody coaches, right? These founding coaches, and they were like loaded and they got in right in the beginning. And I was like, man, they're lucky. Well, they're not lucky. They made a really good choice actually. And so I was like, I'm going to kick myself if I pass this up. So we joined. We worked the business casually for a few months, and honestly, that was my biggest regret. I wish I would have dove in a lot sooner. We actually decided around Christmas time, 3 months later, to really go in full force because around Christmas, I was like, I can't even buy my kids Christmas presents. This is horrible. Not that that's the meaning of Christmas, but, we were just struggling for so long with money, and it was just becoming very depressing, I guess. So I was like, crap, we're screwing off here. So this is wine. Like, this is wine. We got to get our shit together and just, make the decision then to match my engineering salary. And that became my new goal. Okay. I was like, we're going to match my engineering salary with this. So we built Lucas to master seller in less than 90 days. Okay. And I'm almost there. I actually signed up someone new about 45 minutes ago. And I'm so excited to introduce her to the team. She's actually my cousin's cousin. So she's like a cousin-in-law, which is kind of weird. But anyway, so I'm growing. I'm almost master seller. Between the two of us, we have just about 20 personally sponsored people. Okay. So just to recap, 4 young kids. We're always dealing with sickness, etc. 2 of them are coming upstairs as we speak. One's asleep. And where's the 4th?
iPad.
I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, we both work. My husband commutes very far. So how did we get to master seller? Okay, we're busy. Very, very busy. And these are probably things you already heard. There's really no secret sauce to this. Every time you go to a training or hear someone give their perspective on something, you might get a few new things out of it. But really, it's kind of just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just kind of it's duplication. Okay, that's it. It's duplication. Okay, so here's my tips. So you have to treat your business like a business, okay? You have to take ownership of your business, okay? It's your business. So when you sign up, that's your business. No one's going to do it for you. Your upline's not going to do it for you. Your friends are not going to come knocking on your door. Jackie, I heard you joined a business. Can I join you? No, like it's your business. It's up to you. Like you have to execute. Okay. So you have to take ownership of it. If you treat it like a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby, and that's okay if that's what you want it to be. There's absolutely nothing wrong with treating it like a hobby, but that's not what we're in it for. We're in it for financial gain. And I also think it's a really easy business. It's not as emotionally draining as my old business. And it's very like cut and dry. I feel it's very simple. So the easiest thing, the biggest thing I found, you have to stay semi-organized. When you're a crazy busy mom and dad and you have kids running around, you have to stay semi-organized. I keep a notebook, okay? I work off lists, okay? Chalene Johnson, I loved her when I was a coach, and I still go back to some of the principles she taught us in training, but make a list of 100 people, start there, then make a list of 200, then make a list of 300. I have hundreds of names written in my notebook. I work off a list, okay? But I also, when I call into Zooms, I take notes in this notebook, okay? I'm not saying it's perfect, okay? But it's definitely, it's somewhere I can go and just flip through and say, okay, what was that? What did I learn on that Zoom that one time? And what was that website, or what was the name of that training or that author or that book? Oh, there it is, right? So I work off a notebook, and I find that, I love that I use a notebook. It's so simple, right? So that's, everyone has to find what works for them as far as organization, but that works for me. So take ownership of your business. If it's not working yet for you, okay, and I understand sometimes, people are new to network marketing or it doesn't click right away. But, are you talking to enough people, okay? Are you doing the training that you're supposed to be doing? Because we have every single resource and tool available to us. You have to plug in, and that has to be the first thing you do, okay? Yes, it takes a little bit of time, but guess what? You have to, and I'll get into time management in just a minute, but training is absolutely necessary. There's only one book that I really use, and that is GoPro, okay? This is like my Bible of network marketing. And I find people get stuck in the trap of taking notes, reading books, but then they don't execute. You just have to say, screw the fear and just execute. And sometimes it just boils down to having the balls to just ask someone. I mean, I'm being real here, but if it's not working for you, you're probably not talking to enough people, because, Brandy said it perfectly yesterday. It's a numbers game, and it really is. If you talk to 100 people, one person might join you. If you talk to 5,000 people, heck, you might be a master seller tomorrow, So there's that. I took some notes here. So basically, I ask everyone if they want to do this, because why the heck would I not? Seriously, why would I not? I try to pique interest in everyone and their dad, cousin, and neighbor. I really do. I mean, I've gotten to the point, I went to Sam's Club the other day, the checkout girl, she's my friend on Facebook, and I was supposed to do a wine tasting. She was going to come, long story. She's already watched a video, So I've gotten very comfortable with talking to people in person and just, hey, what's your cell phone number? Let me text you something, because we were talking about fitness, and I was telling her I used to be a Beachbody coach, etc., and whatever. So I try to pique interest in everyone, okay? Okay, one other thing that I found really helped me is when I made my list, I started with people that I already knew were entrepreneurs and in network marketing already. For example, Pampered Chef. I signed someone last week who was in Pampered Chef, because they have tons of wine, and cheese products in their line. And she was like, that's awesome. She's like, I'm all over it. And she is, and she's doing great. And she's about to be binary qualified. So I find that if I start with people who are already familiar, who already have that entrepreneur mindset, and one document that I think everyone, if you have not read it, you have to, it's called Recruit Up, and it's in the team page in the files section. So it really made me think, I just need to ask people who have that mindset already and not reinvent the wheel. Now, of course, I ask people that, are my, that I know in real life that maybe have never had a business, etc. And they might tell me no, they probably will, and that's fine. Move on to the next person. So you just have to have it really just boils down to just asking people and talking to people. Okay, as far as time, I just use any buckets of time that I have. Now, you have to be honest with yourself when you're busy, okay? I taught Tuesday and Thursday, and then I had to go in every Friday. But every Monday and Wednesday, I had to prepare for my lecture, because I was hired 3 days before the semester began, okay? Never taught in my life. So you're talking switching to a new career and having to prepare slides and teach 135 students and get cozy with that. And we still managed to do this. So I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm just saying, like, if your mindset is in this, it can be done. So I knew that on Tuesday and Thursday after lecture, I could breathe a little bit. And that's when I used that time to focus on my business, okay? I knew Walter napped from about 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I knew I had to pick up the kids at 3. Every afternoon when Walter took a nap, that was Alina's time. My 4-year-old, I said, let's watch a little movie and just have some downtime. And I worked, okay? I would work at night when the kids went to bed. You know, if my kids were sick, I might not have been able to do much of anything except grab my phone and follow up with like 4 people that day. But at least I did something every single day, okay? So you use like any buckets of time that really are available to you. Look at your week and be honest with yourself and say, what days can I work my business, and schedule it. It goes back to treating your business like a business, okay? Social media. Okay, everyone's style is different on social media. So this is my style. This is personally what works for me. Excuse me. All this talking. I think I need a sip of wine. Do you have anything you want to add so far?
No.
Am I doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, social media. So everyone's style is different. I like to pique interest with my story, with my situation. I talk a lot about my kids. I talk a lot about my life. I probably only post about my business 2 times a week. I don't know if that's enough. I found with my old business, I posted constantly about my business. I got unfriended and unfollowed by everyone. I don't think I did it right. But, you know, I find that if like less is better, and that's just in my case, because, you know, some people might present it better than me or in a different way that's more appealing. But I don't use stock cards. Okay. Stock cards, get rid of them. Attraction marketing. Okay. And I also believe in the business page wholeheartedly. I think that that's good for seasoned network marketers. Okay, so always start with your personal page and go through your warm market. Okay, message everyone on your Facebook page. Make a list of people that you know outside of your Facebook page. There's a lot of people who don't even have Facebook. We're signing someone up. Does she even go on Facebook? And she's going to sign up, you know? She wants to do it more in person. So business page, I do believe in. I think if you're a seasoned, you don't use what? Something. Oh, stock cards. Okay. Stock cards, like what the company gives you, like very salesy stock cards. Like, I just don't personally use them. I think once in a while is okay, but just you can't overload your page with stock cards. Okay. Make it from you. Make it about, you know,
like
coming from yourself.
Personalize it.
Personalize it. Exactly. So with a business page, I've always had a business page. I was able to transition. I just use my name, Jacqueline Allison. I was able to transition it from my old business to my new very easily. And I always find that you always should be running an ad. But again, this is for people who I think are a little more seasoned at this, okay? But always have an ad running. It doesn't have to be $20 a day. I mean, you could start something, you know, $2 a day, you know, and see how it goes, change up your audience. I took some training in this as well. So that's why I say you should be more seasoned before you start investing money in that. Because believe me, you know more people than you realize in your warm market, okay? Another thing is add friends on Facebook and just say, hi, how are you? How are you? I see we have this in common. I try to go and I'll like something on their page because I don't want to come across as a creeper, you know, and like start commenting on all their crap, right? But, you know, if I add someone new on Facebook, I'll just say hi, hey, and like, you know, you have really beautiful children. And, you know, but it's always something genuine because I do believe in connecting with people in a genuine way. If I don't like you, I won't ask you to do this, believe me. So I'll be like, I don't think so. Okay, so those are really my only tips. I think as far as me and you, we've done a really good job because we're both so busy at communicating. It's like a second marriage having a home business with your spouse.
I mean, there's like a lot of times, like, you know, I know like Jackie like is kind of getting into that zone and wanting to do a little bit of work. So, you know, I'll just round up the kids, try to put them to bed or throw them in the bath or take them downstairs, or we'll go outside and do something. So I mean, there's times that, I mean, she works a business a whole lot more than what I do, but when I get home, I try to give her, from like a spouse standpoint, try to give her that time to just kind of zone in a little bit and get a half hour in or whatever it takes, just to get, a few connections done or a couple quick posts or just anything that just kind of helps out a little bit. And
yeah. And, I have a few single friends too, single moms that my friend Donnie just joined us, and she's a single mom, and she's planning on using like her time very wisely when her ex-husband has the kids. And she's like, you know what, that's going to be my time where I'm going to work on my business. And like, so really, I mean, you can make it work. You have to make the decision, and it is hard. I'm not saying it's hard, that it's not hard. Okay. When you're really busy, if you have a bunch of kids and you're working, it is hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And you have to have the mindset, and you just have to make the choice and schedule your time and try to stay semi-organized. Okay. If everyone does not have a notebook, go get a big, shiny, hot pink notebook tomorrow. No, but seriously, I mean,
or Evernote.
Evernote. That's another app that I use that really helps. So like if I go and like if I'm out and I think of someone, oh, that person would be really good at this, like I'll just go and write their name in Evernote. Okay, Evernote is the bomb. Yes, it is the bomb. So, or if I'm at ballet, my kids, all three of my girls are at ballet, and I'll be like, ooh, that mom, she has her own business. And I'll like stalk and creep, and I'll be like, what's that mom's name? And I'll write her name down. So, I just have my little ways. I just I live and breathe this in a way, but I don't find that it consumes my whole life.
That's one, like from a spouse recommendation, don't let it consume you. No. But
this doesn't, like the way my old business did.
I mean, the old one was just like, I was done with it like months and months before we actually got out of it. And, this, like, I mean, the wine, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things that, I'd rather drink beer, to be honest. I really don't care. But it's just like when you're out, like we have a grocery store that's down the road, and they've got $2 pints. I mean, how can you not do that when you forget milk or whatever? So one of the people that I've got that is going to sign up under us actually worked there for a little bit, and we were just sitting there talking, and I had logged on, and she's like, what are you looking up? I was like, well, I'm just trying to figure out like what like kind of like how we're going to be structuring this one little wine thing that we're doing. And then all of a sudden the conversation went off, and, she was interested, and then kind of dropped off for a couple months. And then all of a sudden we get this text like, hey, I'm really interested in this wine thing. Can I come over to your guys' house and talk about it? Yeah, sure. So, I mean, it just like, you never know when that opportunity is going to hit. So it's just, I don't like to be the one to just push it or force it down, because I think people will actually come on board. Because it's not a hard sell. It is what it is. I mean, it's a product that it's been around for thousands of years. So, I mean, it's just take advantage of the marketing, or take advantage of the structure and the just the way the business works. So, I mean, the product's there. It's awesome.
But like you're saying, like keep it simple. I think some people overcomplicate the duplication, and this is actually the easiest. I mean, this is the easiest duplication I've ever seen. And don't overcomplicate it, and just kind of look for. I mean, just always keep it in the back of your mind, like when you're talking to people, and don't be afraid to ask people for their cell number, or hey, I'm going to text you something later, or you're super awesome. We should like meet at the gym sometime, or like I was talking to a girl today in my cycle in class who I saw her at a yoga class, and I was like, hey, we should meet up at yoga sometime. Like, I mean, but I really like her. I mean, I wouldn't do that if I didn't really like her. But I think I've gotten a little. I was not very social before this, but I kind of just got over that fear of talking to people and just actually building relationships, like genuine relationships. And whether it goes somewhere or not, it doesn't matter, because I'm meeting moms and people, you know what I mean? And it's just a good thing all around. So, but that's really all I have. Is that all you have?
Well, one other thing I would say, like, cause I noticed a couple of people like, messaged a couple things on the chat box, like whenever we were talking about kind of like spousal support. Yeah. I mean, it is huge, and we've had a lot of people that, the one person's interested. Oh, I've got to get somebody else to, the spouse to concur with it. And, that is a family decision at the end of the day. But like, I guess like everybody really needs to kind of acknowledge like the spouse part of it, because they are going to be a key person in it. So, it's really not, I don't know. I'm trying to think what to really say on it. I mean, it is like, if people need that support and like somebody to talk to, like always be open to talking to like the spouse of it, because of whoever, be it the girl or the boy, whatever on the thing. But it takes both of the people just to kind of give those few minutes of just quiet time, just to kind of post or even think about anything.
Yeah.
Or just to kind of break away and message a couple people, or just to carry on a conversation. So
rally the troops.
Yeah.
So true. Oh my gosh. Jen, don't you have 4 kids as well? Have shared goals. Yeah, you have 4 kids too. Yeah, so you understand. You're like a nurse too, right? So you have like big career. But I think that's all I have. So does anyone have any questions for us? No questions? Really? I love answering questions. I talk for a living, guys. I lecture.
All I know is I'm like over here in tears. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe you did awesome.
I'll ask a question. I don't know can you guys hear me or not?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so like, I feel like I don't have necessarily a problem with messaging people or anything like that. Like, I message like a mad woman, and I love the scripts, and it's just been super fun for me in that aspect. But my Facebook is maxed out on the friends list. How do you decide who you want to delete? Like, I want to make sure that like the next, I'm not just trying to get to 5,000 and max out my friends list anymore. Like, I want to add quality people and recruit up. How do you choose who to delete, and how do you choose like, or are you just like, I just met most of my people through like groups and things like that, or like, I don't know, friends of friends, but I want to recruit up. How are you searching for people to recruit up? Like, of a higher, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like a higher caliber.
Well,
person.
I don't have 5,000 friends on my list, on my friends page. So I've never had to go through deleting people and adding new people. But with Recruit Up, it's warm market people I know in real life. I was like, every single realtor that we have come across in our life, we wrote their names down. You start emailing Shelly, and like, we just people that we know in real life. I mean, you can just go to yellowpages.com and just be like, okay, which one of these realtors have I ever come across? Or business owners, you know what I mean? Like, we know like a dozen or 2 dozen business owners in town. Like, just put their name on a list, People.
We just moved, so I don't know anyone here yet.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a
As far as like, having like, maxing out your friends list, I mean, you got to kind of, it goes back to any business case decision. I mean, you kind of got to look at your return on investment. I mean, I guarantee that you could go through that and probably knock off 1,000 people and not offend them at all. If you really want to.
I did that at 2:00 in the morning. I did that at 2:00 in the morning because I'm always at 5,000 people, because I've been in network marketing for 7 years. So that's why I always have 5,000 friends. And I couldn't sleep one night, and I knew that I needed new blood. So I just went through my friends list, and you would not believe how many people have 2 or 3 profiles, right?
Oh my God, so annoying.
To know 3 of you, or you have, as women, we have the perverts that you don't really want on there anyway, so you delete them, right? And delete kids. Like, there's always a kid or 2 that will add you. Like, there's always people that you even know that are just there to just be nosy. We all have those people. And when you're going through your list, you'll know. And then I think I ended up deleting over 400 people that night. And then what I did the next morning is I went to the search bar, and this worked because I signed up a few people that week. I went to the search bar and just typed in every network marketing company that I could possibly think of, hashtag it works, hashtag Yonique.
Yeah.
hashtag Amway even, and all of these people that will pop up that are in that business, and the ones that are not my friends, I would take a quick check at their page. I just would, because I'm picky now. When I was with Beachbody, I signed up anybody and everybody, and I'm not that way anymore. I'm like, I want quality people, and so I would go look, and then I would friend request them. And that is how I did that. And then when they accepted my friend request, I would just send them a simple message. Hey, thank you so much for, thank you so much for accepting my request. I love, talking to people, like-minded people, something like that. It was so simple. I didn't invite them yet. I would wait a couple days, and I would like a couple of their posts and build that relationship with them. And then that's when I would, after a few days of commenting on their posts and all that stuff, then I would, I don't know. That's what I did. It helped.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. I just feel like I've been like that total, I know everyone's like, totally don't do this, but I am like that cold messaging person, and it's worked for me, but I try and like a few pictures and like post and connect first. I'm not just like a literally copy and paste. Like I make it a little bit more personable, but for me, like cold messaging has really worked, but I also feel like I need to start, I need some leaders, not just, I don't know. I'm reading Recruit Up right now. I have like 20 pages left, and I love it. And so I'm trying to figure out how to actually apply it in my, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I don't have a career. I have a bachelor's degree, but I never did anything with it.
I got a question for Brandy. When you were talking earlier, you mentioned that you do the voice messages. I do that all the time. And I haven't ever asked anybody this before, but like 1 out of probably 5 or 10 of my messages won't go through. And then I got to reset the messenger thing again. And it sucks when that happens. I'm so mad when it doesn't send. Is that just my phone, or is there anything I can do to like fix that, or does that happen to everybody?
My phone does that all the time because
Okay.
I talk so fast. I'm like all the time, like, well, I'm either changing a diaper or running a kid to school. So mine does that too, and some of the people, like, if they get half of a message, I'm just myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm running my kids back and forth. You know how it is. I'm so sorry.
Right.
But yeah, my phone does the same thing. I think it's them damn iPhones. I don't know. Maybe.
All right. I just didn't know if it was like my phone or everybody goes through it, but it sucks when you get done with a really good 1-minute message and then it's never sent. You're like, what the hell?
Oh, that makes me so bad.
Need to get an Android.
Oh, I think you're right. Who said that?
Get rid of the iPhone.
I actually have an Android. I don't have
Oh.
No, Android suck too. Sorry. They
an
bad.
They both suck.
This is bad.
There's a good Facebook post for you. iPhone or Android, you'll have like 2,000 comments.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, that piece right there, Trip. Woohoo! I love that. Behind what Trey got you, right?
Oh yeah, Trey got it for me.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, definitely by far the coolest thing I've ever gotten from anybody in this business or my last company.
Did we I shouldn't say this, did we get a duffel bag or maybe a t-shirt or something?
Bobbleheads.
Nothing that cool.
I had enough bobbleheads, and I don't play with toys.
Oh
so
yeah, bobblehead that my kids broke the heads off of, all of them.
Or how about the Snuggies? The Snuggies?
Or the apron. Okay, we have to stop.
What are we supposed to do with all of our bobbleheads and pins?
Well, my kids broke all the bobbleheads. So Shanti and Tony Horton have all been headless, and Shalene Johnson too. So they're all headless. And they're sitting in my closet still. Good Halloween decorations, I suppose.
Oh, good God.
Don't get me started. Just don't get me started.
I think maybe we should.
Hey, what is Jackie's husband's name? I just want to thank him.
Do what?
It's Lucas.
I want to thank you because my husband's sitting out on the deck with me listening, guys, and I've been in network marketing for 15 years, and Beachbody was like his baby. Like, was obsessed with Shaun T. Like, he does all the workouts and all that stuff. And to move from that business to this one it's a big jump. And not to talk too much about Beachbody, but I'm sure he's still trying to find his way and figure that all out. So, you know, for you to point out the fact that just helping out around the house and, you know, giving her the time to do the business and like kind of feeding off of her, what are we going to do next? And just kind of planning and setting goals together is a huge part of this. And I think the spouses sometimes think, well, I'm not doing the business, but you are. Like, that's you doing the business. That's you helping. And it's thing that you pointed that out. I just wanted to say thank you. And he was sitting next to me grilling on the grill, and he heard you talking about that. And I always say that. So for a guy to say that, and it kind of just solidifies what I always say to him.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Thank you. But I honestly, I think that everybody needs to just kind of acknowledge that, because it doesn't matter, be it a business or just life in general. I mean, everybody, you know, it's a team effort with everything everybody does. So, you know, I mean, this is a legitimate business. It's not just a thing that somebody wants to play around with or try. I mean, Beachbody was a legitimate business. It just, for that aspect, I got wore out, but, you know, it was just kind of like, you know, past its time for us. But, you know, this is, you know, I mean, this stuff's been around. I mean, wine's been around. It's something that everybody in some form enjoys. And if you don't, that's fine. But at the same time, it's just like, as long as you acknowledge like what your spouse or significant other is doing, it's just respect that. And I think that a lot of spouses have been, we've noticed it too with some people that we've had over here. It's just like, well, my husband, he'll never go for that. Okay, really? I mean, it's like he's not supporting like you guys, like you trying to do something better. It's kind of, you know, so I think that we all need to kind of chip in some form and just acknowledge that, you know, this is a true legitimate thing. So, you know, if anybody ever has any questions, I mean, I'm more than happy to shoot some emails back and forth or whatever. So, because
I think you guys should do a spouses support video and share it. I do.
We talked about that a month or so. I mean, probably 2 months ago.
We will.
So we really need to. So.
Thank you for sharing.
Hey guys, I'm just saying something because Riley had a question up front or up at the top. She said, "What is the most important piece of information you learned on this journey?"
On what journey? For direct sellers or for network marketing?
I'm assuming direct sellers, but I guess it could be network marketing. It's not
the most important thing that we've learned.
Important piece of information you've learned.
The most important piece of information.
I would say that if somebody says no, don't worry about it. I mean, literally, don't worry about it. Move on. Go on to the next thing. Just never take it personally, I guess is kind of, you know, because people are going to say no because it's a pyramid or whatever else they want to come up with. So just, you know, hey, you know, just keep looking at that return on investment type thing. I mean, if somebody sits there and says, you know, wants to just kind of argue with you more than anything, just walk off. Who cares? You know, move on. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. Just nothing's personal. Just walk off. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it.
The most important thing that I have learned is if you're not confident about the business, no one's going to say no to you or yes to you. No one's going to say yes to you. No one is going to join you. You have to be confident. Your stature is the most important thing. When I first started doing network marketing, I was not confident, and it was written all over me. I love the product. I was confident in the product, but I was not confident in asking people. I'd be like very, well, you know, I'm doing this thing, posture, that's it. Yeah. So you have to be confident. That's the most important thing I've learned. If you're confident and sure of yourself, and
it's something else that kind of comes up. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun almost. Is it's kind of like that less is more mentality.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you can just run into somebody and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just working a wine business thing. What do you mean? Be like, oh, it's just something we're doing on the side. Just ignore it. Just walk off. Don't talk about it at all.
That's piquing interest.
And people like be like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, what are you, doing like at, lunch in your car at work, logged on or something. It piques that interest, like you were saying, and then people come back and start asking like, what is this thing that you're doing? And then they actually want to give you that time to talk. So it's not like you're trying to be salesy because they came to you with the question, not you going to them and forcing it down their throat. So.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Physics questions? I mean,
I can answer a physics question, a chemistry question.
Kids' homework questions. Anybody got any kids' homework questions going on? I don't have been late 5th grade. I'm just kidding. Okay, guys. No more questions?
Anyone going to ANMP, whatever it is? Who's going?
To what?
To the network marketing, the
I'm
ANMP
going.
in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. I think I have Kim and there's a few of us.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
Brandy, you're going?
Yes, I'm going.
I just booked my flight for hubby and I am excited.
Yay.
Can't wait to see you.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Team Miss
Can I
Austin.
Can I add something really quick before we end the call? In 10 minutes at 9 o'clock Eastern, we're doing another one of the lit sessions. If you don't know what that is, all we're doing is invites together. So I share my screen. If questions come up, we can talk about it, but that's all it is. It seemed to be helping a lot of people. So if you guys want to jump on, I'll bump the post in the Wine Warriors and just click on the.
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. Thanks.
Cool.
Hey guys, it's Sheila. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. My screen is frozen, but I can still hear you guys, so it's weird. Hey, I have a question about compliance and the income disclaimer. So I need to understand with posts that have, if we're going to say a specific dollar figure, like Priscilla made $50,000, obviously that has to have an income disclaimer. But if it is a, I posted about my phone that I bought. I alluded to the fact that I paid for this phone for my wine business. So does that need an income disclaimer?
Trip, you might know more about this than me, but I believe so. Because the FCC is just really watching. But Trip,
Rose, Brandy. I don't know I would look at our policy and procedures, but probably to be on the same.
Oops, it's frozen. Frozen.
it shut off, guys. I don't know what happened.